Welcome back to another episode of Red Wine Buffalo, the best Buffalo podcast around. Another big W coming off the bye week.
Big.
Another great game on Sunday Night Football. Yeah. I'm Adam, and this is Zilla. He's gonna introduce what we're gonna talk about. Offense, defense again. Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. So we're gonna run through some of the defensive hot topics this past game. A lot was going on. It was a good one as usual. Then we'll go ahead and hit the offense. We have some things to say about some new acquisitions. And then I think we'll just jump right back into the next week predictions and talk a little bit about that. And yeah, so I guess we'll just go ahead and kick it right off.
Yes, sir. Let's start with defense. Damn. Another dominant performance by the defense. Honestly, if our defense wasn't so good, I feel like this game could have got out of hand a little bit, especially with that fourth quarter, how it went. So I'm very thankful that we have a very good defense, and it shows time and time again when we hold them in the fourth like that when we have to. When things don't go so well on offense. But
definitely
talk about the D-line. The D-line, huge. What do you think, Sil?
I like that. I also like that our defense, not specifically the D-line, but there's usual characters every week that step in, but then there's it almost like the rest of the team rotates around with who's super impactful that week. It's pretty good, like you said, the depth.
We have a lot of different people that are actually becoming stars, right before us, like Edmonds and Milano. They're getting better and better, and we've also already have Miller and all them. So, but going off of that, that's the D line. Every week I have to emphasize this because it's just people don't realize how important a great defensive line is, and I know we gave up a bunch of rushing, but honestly, it was nonsense rushing. It didn't matter, I don't even know if he got a touchdown rushing. That's the thing. Did he? I don't think he did. I'm gonna look it up quick. I don't think he did.
No.
And that's what's crazy is
also don't sleep on the fact that you're still playing Aaron Rodgers. People are like, oh yeah, he don't have Davante Adams. Well, it doesn't matter. It's still Aaron Rodgers. The dude can score in 2 minutes if he needs to, usually. So
yeah. Exactly. Even with a shitty team this year, they're still could at any time start clicking. So
he uses Dobbs and Tunyon instead. You know what I mean? He's still,
I know Dobbs had a crazy catch too. That was a great catch.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I mean Aaron Jones diced this up, I will say.
Yeah.
But 20 for 143. But we dominated. If you watch that game, literally Aaron Rodgers was under constant pressure, constantly getting had to get the ball out quick or getting sacked, and it was clear that we were dominating on the offensive
and which
line.
Also led to him, I think, them having to call plays that would just dish it off to Aaron Jones quick. You know what I mean? It became a lot of short screen type passes and running plays because he couldn't do anything really.
Yeah, 19 for 30 for 203 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an INT. He doesn't throw a lot of INTs, so that's huge to get an INT against him.
And that pass completion is bad.
Yeah,
for him, very bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 19 for 30. Yeah. I mean, Josh wasn't much better, but that's horrible. So
yeah.
But yeah, I want to go over Jordan Phillips for defensive line. Holy shit,
we say every week. Yeah, we say every week.
Every week.
Yeah, every week. But you need to.
Dude, flying around the field.
Yeah.
He had 2 different tackles where he was downfield and all of a sudden just leveling a guy. And I was like, Jordan Phillips, what the hell? Where did he just come from?
He's getting himself back to linebacker position, making tackles back there. Yeah.
Well, you know how a lot of linemen, they kind of just once they get to if they don't get the quarterback, they kind of just turn and watch.
Yeah.
Kind of, a lot of especially D line.
He turn and
or
sprint.
If the play's close, they'll turn. But he was he is constantly all over the field, and I honestly think that it's our depth because we're allowed to. He doesn't have to play every single snap because we can put in other players that are gonna Tim Settle. And who else was it? Tim Settle and Oliver too. Oliver looks like a bull this year. Jeez, he's pushing people back. But we haven't mentioned him much. I think it's because he's under the radar because he's doesn't get talked about.
Also, a couple of weeks didn't he have a minor injury too? Something lagged early in the season.
I think he was out for a week or two. I think
I think so.
But either way, he's dominant. He is when he is fully healthy and playing full, you can watch him just push people back by himself, and it is wild.
Yeah, I
Or
think
take on two.
he might be more of one of those like impact players, and you're not necessarily
Hmm.
always seeing him do the tackles and everything, but he's still like moving,
Hmm.
people to make things happen. So, um,
Yeah. But yeah, going to Phillips is huge, huge,
yeah,
and it just goes to show you how our depth is showing again. Um, but yeah, next I want to talk about Milano. Yeah,
Milano, yeah,
you said I literally when I told you I want to talk about you, you're like, yeah,
yeah.
I was literally going to say the same thing. So I'll let you start with him.
All
Talk
right.
about him.
I think the biggest thing, like we were saying right before this, is that the fact that like our awesome defensive line is getting tips or whatever, or if it's just any tip like midfield kind of area.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's getting like interception opportunities from that, which are crazy
So
because
many.
yeah, so many, and he had two that game is so close, and then the third one he took in, so it was pretty cool
Yeah.
too. Yeah, yeah.
And what's crazy to me is even he's known for like his run defense, and honestly, it has gotten significantly better. When he sees the hole and like the running back's about to take it, he all of a sudden you just see him go through it. I've seen it multiple games now where all of a sudden he just hits the hole and you're just like, and like it's just like weird times. So people don't always realize it unless you're like actually watching this game intently,
Yeah, the
So
timing's
like
off. It's like after the offensive line is shifting people and the hole opens,
yeah.
he just goes there
It's
quick.
just
Yeah.
he's just crazy good, and it's just you can see how like he's improving too. It's crazy how multiple guys on our defense have significantly improved,
I feel like
and
Edmonds and him were everywhere last game, everywhere. Like
yeah,
they were just out of
everywhere,
control. Yeah, both of them.
yeah. It's great to see, and when they get when it's prime time like this, it's like so much more covered for like being able to watch the game and everything close up and everything. So like, I feel like we really got to see how everybody's playing and everything, and they're both. It's just insane how good they are. Him and Edmonds and the whole. Honestly, him, uh, Edmonds, Oliver, Phillips, you can see how all of these guys have significantly improved.
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah,
and it's got to be, and honestly, I kind of might credit that to Vaughn.
yeah. I
I
think
honestly think it is
I think we
a
said like
good
even if
extent.
there's a game where you don't see him getting the tackles or sacks, he's still like disrupting. Like we said before, and then it gives everyone
Yeah,
else the opportunity to do more because
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was crazy. I don't know. The other than that though, the rush D could have been better, but the defense overall dominated again. We shut them down to 10 points in the second half. Uh,
Aaron Jones is a tough running back, tough one like to go against.
yeah,
And like he's
yeah, and
kind of
when
hit or miss. In some games he goes off, he just goes off. Like I don't know.
hmm
I
they
don't.
gave him attempts. I feel like they need Green Bay is stupid. They need to give him all the attempts and rush him 20, 30 times a game.
Yeah.
And he'd get you 100, 200 yards. I'm not even kidding. At like majority of games cuz he's good. I don't get it. I just don't get while sometimes all of a sudden he'll get like 7 attempts and Dylan will get like 10 attempts and you're
Like,
like what is
so
going on?
they gave Dylan a lot more. I only know that because I was picking him up off the waivers in the other league.
Right,
But,
right.
yeah, he had a significantly more, and I don't know if that's gonna be moving forward or if that's just because Aaron Rodgers couldn't pass that game much, but,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's good. But we got last thing, Trey.
Trey.
Let's go,
I
baby!
were hoping it's this week, but we did more research, and it looks like it might be another week or 2, but I'm pretty excited. Pretty
I
excited.
don't know. It's because he's so close. Obviously, he's at least activated, which is huge. I
And
mean, what week are we in?
fully practicing too,
9?
they say, right? Without restrictions?
Y-
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
week 9, correct? We're
Yep.
in.
Coming up, yeah.
So we're about 11 months from his injury. So
Yeah.
that's pretty normal. I mean, it's 6. It's like anywhere from 8 to 12 months, I would say, for a
Well,
tour. Like, right? Don't they say, or is it 12 to 16?
he might be a little sooner, but he also,
He's also like gets rehab and shit all the time. So I feel like
yeah.
he should be back
Yeah, I don't
soon.
know. I don't. He's also like, he was previously like our star defense guy, so costs a lot of money. They probably just want to like be careful, make sure he's really ready to come back, that you don't have
Oh,
some
for sure.
re-injury or anything like that. Over something dumb like having him come back a couple of games too early or something.
Right.
Yeah.
All
So
I know is he's going to be back within the next 3 weeks, I bet.
I expect it to be crazy because look how good this team has been without him this year.
Jeez. And without Hyde.
Yeah.
God, imagine if we had Hyde and Trey right from the start. Oh
Yeah.
my. But we're just gonna get better, which is kind of scary because like
Yeah.
we're already so freaking good,
Yeah.
and it's pretty incredible that we're just gonna most like because now we're gonna have the extra two. We have Alam and Betford
Yep.
play. They've been playing too, so now they can rotate a lot too, and
Yep.
that's just gonna help once again with depth, freshness. Keep and good players. So
Yeah, dude, like those plays where normally like your starting corner has to go on a deep route with a receiver, then come
right,
back and be tired, just pull him out quick, pop someone in, let him get his breath back, put him
right.
in there again. Like I think it's great. It's great having that.
I
I'm excited
agree.
about it. I think it'll be like you said, impactful when he comes. Hopefully, it's for the Jets, but if not, it's cool. He'll be back.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Um, we have to talk about quick an injury. Poyer said he hurt his elbow pop.
Mm. He's had
That
some.
never sounds good when you
Mm-mm.
hear something like that.
And
So,
he was dealing with some lagging rib injury. I think the past few
yep.
weeks. Yeah.
And also said Milano has an oblique injury that he's dealing with. Spencer Brown is improving, which is great news for the offense. Poyer said he left with an elbow injury, did not return. He's getting one on Monday. When was this? I really hope that Poyer is not going to be long-term injury
Yeah.
because
He's been.
I mean we'll be fine, I think, but it's just he's huge. They're both huge. That's why it's like at
I
least
mean,
have one of them.
safety. He's been like a safety net. No, he's made like huge tackles. He's had
Yeah,
interceptions when we needed him. He's been doing like he's really been someone who stepped up like at the time of need. So I think
yeah.
it's difficult if he's gonna have to be out long term. But like hopefully it's a maybe even take a week off or
That's
just
why I think we
wrap it
got
up.
Dean Marlowe too,
Oh, yeah, that's
because
true.
now he's a safety for safety depth. He's already been on the team. He's good fill-in. So I mean he'll be decent to fill in if Poyer is hurt long term, which kind of makes me worried if he is hurt long term. I
Yeah,
didn't see anything yet. I'm gonna see. Because if he is hurt long term, that could hurt us
yeah.
very significantly.
Mm-hmm. I think it's good about the depth though,
Uh,
but um,
it looks like it says Milano's limited at practice. Dealing with oblique. Jordan Poyer are still considered day to day. Poyer and White are considered day to day.
all right. Well, that
Not
doesn't.
much has been made about Poyer. He said it's scheduled on Monday, but the team hasn't released those findings of that as of yet.
That doesn't sound bad. Day to day doesn't sound bad. If they're like he's estimated out 3 weeks, that's bad news, you know.
May
So
have aggravated an elbow injury he sustained in training camp.
yeah, do you remember? I thought it was preseason. I thought he landed wrong on an elbow and he was out for a game or something or for a week, um, or around
Oh,
that time.
Poyer's injury could potentially be more serious as after the game, the safety said himself he didn't feel the same as the earlier injury. Though his day-to-day designation starts the week could indicate that it's not considered a long-term issue.
All right,
So we'll see. We'll see. He said it felt like a pop though, so that's not good. Yeah.
TBD
So
to be determined.
overall,
Yeah.
overall though, like we said, we're dominant. We're stepping up in huge situations. Still, probably, honestly, the best defense in the league, if not one of the top three.
Mhm.
That's why we have the biggest point differential. Like I was saying, we have it at 105, and the next closest is Philly at 78, and then the Chiefs at 51. So that just goes to show you how good our defense and offense are both. They're just rolling and rocking right now. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. Next,
Want to move
you
it on to
wanna?
the offense?
Yeah, let's move it on.
Okay.
Let's get it going.
Let's talk about Diggs versus Alexander. This is another one of
Oh
those.
boy. Oh boy.
We
Oh
I
boy.
think we all kind of at first were like, "What is that?" I'm like, I think I text you and was like, "Oh yeah, he was in that division. That's why they're
I think it's what it
jawing
was.
off hard." Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
I think that's exactly what it was,
Some
and
old
it's just
Vikings
because
bad
they had
blood.
yeah,
Yeah,
old bad blood between the team. Even everybody was like, "Why are Green Bay, who kind of sucks this year, like having this much aggression with a team that's like the best in the league?" Like it
yeah,
makes no sense. And I bet it was because it had to be just because they right away when they run out the tunnel and they were jawing off at each
yeah,
other. I was like, "Oh whoa!" That was like, "Where'd this come from?"
yeah.
I was like, Diggs about to go off, and that's exactly what he fucking did,
It
baby.
made for some entertaining plays and scrapping and everything else. But I think it's safe to say that Diggs got the best of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think he 100% got the best of that.
Same thing with Ramsey
He
when he was also jawing off before that
I
game.
know
And yeah,
Alexander got an interception late in the game, but that was late in the game, made no significance. He
yeah,
tried to say after the game, like, "Oh, I owned him." Blah, blah. It's like you didn't do shit. And if you look at, he didn't even cover him. He was only on him for like four covers.
yeah,
I'm like, that's weak. If you were my best cornerback, like supposed to be, you would be on the best receiver of the other team every single play. So
yeah.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
You also
Jalen
hear
Ramsey
about
manned up and got dominated.
yeah, and
You
everyone's
know
always
what I'm
talking about
saying?
their secondary being so bad, so badass, and you're like,
Yeah.
not today. So
At least you got to give credit to somebody like Jalen
mhm.
Ramsey stepping up, getting his ass beat. At least he went at him. At least he tried,
And then
but he got his
afterwards,
ass set down.
he was like backpedaling. Whoa,
Got his
whoa,
ass set down.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
And then he said, Alexander after the game tried to be like, "Oh, I didn't know much about him. I still don't really like." Tried to basically say he's not good still, and it's like, dude,
yeah,
he's like top 3 in every category.
yeah.
It's
Look
ridiculous.
them up.
Yeah, look him up, pal.
Hey,
But
buddy.
yeah,
Yeah,
huge. Diggs huge again.
yeah,
Going on to that, Knox and McKenzie.
yep.
Always, always seem to be contributing, even if it's for a catch here, touchdown there. They seem to be such a crucial part of this
They're
offense.
the opposite of Poyer. They're like the same thing on offense. Like when we really need it, they usually come through with that catch. You know what I mean? Like or the
Yeah, and he's like
touchdown.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's like may not be like the best player on on our defense or offense in this case, but
yeah.
they always like do like that run was great by McKenzie like I said, Knox is always somehow in the right place at the right time. Always, I just don't get it, and he always makes a big catch at least like once every other game. It
And
seems.
Josh doesn't overuse him either, so he's always that threat. You know, he's just like
Yeah,
lurking, and then when it comes out and you need him, either for a bad third down and you need to convert, or for a touchdown, you know, and they're not looking at him, it's always he's just
yeah.
you're right place, right time. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just it is constant. I don't know how many times he's made like a big crucial catch on 3rd and 4 or something. And it may not show like I was saying, it's not showing up in the stats because he may finish like 4 for 44.
yeah,
But it's like you don't realize he made one of those 15-yard catches on 3rd and 12 like all of a
yeah.
sudden, like late in the 3rd quarter when we really needed it, like he's always there and he's great at blocking.
Mhm.
Knox is huge and McKenzie's huge because obviously with our receivers we've had a lot of injuries there actually too.
Yeah,
So it's been nice, he's always contributing. I think he had what, like six touchdowns last year?
yeah.
He's already got like 4 this year.
He had a lot last year, and they're like I think we discussed this. They were later in the season too, when we really needed it, so he came through.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
so it's huge.
do you want to talk about the running game?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Boom,
Huge.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Bye, Moss. Right.
Obviously, thank God we got rid of Moss. I'm sorry. We tried.
I think
We tried.
last year I was actually pushing for him because he did some like that traditional like smash mouth like runs like up the middle. He'd like
Right.
crush it and just keep pushing. And I was like, maybe he's
Right.
but fumbles been part of his career.
We
You know,
said you go back and listen to episode 1 of this, the
go
preseason
bring it back.
episode. Go back to our YouTube, subscribe when you're there.
Yeah, hit the other videos up.
At Red White
Yeah,
Buffalo. Go
yeah,
back.
yeah.
And it literally we said Moss. The only way he's gonna make an impact this year is if he doesn't fumble.
Mhm.
He comes in week 1. What does he do? He fumbles right
Fumbles.
away, and it's just like we even said we were like Moss is done.
Yeah.
Like week 2 episode, we were like Moss is done. We're like he's probably not gonna get much playing time
And then I think
in
two healthy scratches, we knew something's
in
up.
a row.
Yeah. And
We knew it.
I think like what I said before this when we discussed this briefly is that I think the deal with that guy is like if he was a consistent performer, I'd be more supportive of it. But he seems to have some kind of issues off the field too with the team because
Yeah,
he has a lot of healthy
getting
scratches.
mad and
Yeah, or like he was angry last year when they were pitting the two backs for the
yeah,
starting role, and
yeah.
yeah, so
And
um,
honestly, like if even when you're at a job, like it's like sometimes you just got to be a team player, and sometimes you're not always benefiting, and so. But eventually, with the hope and hard work, you're get to where you want to be. And I felt like he wasn't getting to where you want to be, even with the opportunities. And then he was complaining about like not getting playing time, and it's like,
and
well,
who knows, you know, to like to go glass half full. Maybe
Right.
he'll click with the next team, and the organization will be great, and
True.
he'll do well.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very true.
Maybe he
Very
just
true.
didn't fit in with the Bills for whatever reason. So
Yeah. 100%.
some of these running backs
100%.
want to be the running back, and they don't want to
Yeah.
share the role, and maybe that's an issue. I don't
All
know.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Moss traded for Hines. I
Yeah.
think that's a big trade.
Yeah.
And Hines is going to be strictly our, occasional back that's in for receiving, third and 15s, stuff like that. He's a wonderful receiving back. Him and Philip Rivers 2 years ago, they almost beat us in the playoffs because of like that dump off
Yep.
little shit they used to do. So he's huge. I think that's a big add. And honestly, I want to go over the running game because Singletary looked freaking phenomenal,
Yeah.
and
For a
Cook
couple weeks now, right? We can say
for a
couple
couple
weeks. Yeah.
weeks, we can say
Yeah.
now, and that's the first time, honestly, in 4 years
Yeah.
of being on the Bills that we can be like 2 weeks in a row. He actually looked good, like good.
I think we both said that about the running backs, like both Moss and him. Like someone needs to step
Yeah,
up or get them out. You know what I mean? Like there's
yeah,
got to be someone who's reliable more than they
yeah.
were. So
And
yeah,
Sinky seems to be the guy that's stepping up.
I like.
And on top of it, Cook, he
Yeah,
had a couple big plays again. And that's why he moved up the depth chart because he was quiet. You don't hear much about him, but he makes big plays.
and
Yeah, I know he fumbled his first snap ever, but since then he's made a big play here, big play there, and he keeps doing it.
yeah,
He's going to be good.
they're giving it. They're upped his carries a little bit, and I think all of them were pretty productive. Like I don't think he got stuffed
Yeah.
on his carries this past game. And that's even better because I mean it's encouraging them to keep giving him more, so and that's tough.
Now we
That's
have
tough.
legit three little reliable backs now.
Yeah. I like that we have Hines because I feel like that'll be another option for Josh too.
Yeah.
He kind of tried to use Singletary in that way, but I don't know. It wasn't always happening. So like maybe just having like a
That's not
clear
the
pass guy.
best receiver.
Yeah.
He needs like the second to like find an opening and find a hole and go. Which is nice is like if Singletary isn't even playing well, we can easily just put Cook in, and he probably most times he's honestly going to rush as good, if not better.
Mhm.
Which is nice because he's young. We can develop him for a year or two more, and then honestly, I think this is Singletary's last year anyway on his contract.
Oh,
I think.
and I mean
I think.
we got that depth either way this year. So if someone gets
Yeah.
hurt, yeah. So
So yeah, and depth, it adds depth, and people don't realize how crucial that's become when like all these great teams, and then they lose a guy here, and all of a sudden next thing they go on a losing streak. That's not. We're lucky enough to have all this depth that hopefully we're not going to have to worry about all that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I don't know. Overall, I think I think it was a great trade. It's going to add another dimension to our game. Like it's adding this running game. It's everything we've wanted.
Yeah. We talked about this for 2 years, I think, easily that's our biggest problem. Even with the
Yeah.
change of the cast of characters we had for receivers, we still had we kind of the last 4 or 5 years have had capable receivers. We just always needed
Yeah.
that run game really, so yeah.
Yeah, and now it finally makes us that multi-dimensional offense that we've been looking for. So, I do like I was gonna say, I think I credit the like comeback at the end towards like sloppy play is like we're 24/7 at halftime.
Yeah.
Realistically, most times we end up pulling away and it's like 38 10, 38, 17, and you don't think twice about it. We score that touchdown, it's 34-17. No one would have been like, oh, that's close, but it's just because they got to that 27-17. We were like, okay, that was a weird finish.
Yeah, it was. I think it's hard though when you go into the half leading like that much to really keep the gas on. Like you do to a point,
Yeah,
but I can see where the team's like, "Oh, we're doing all right," and then
we're dominating,
mistakes
and
might
it's just
happen. You might force something you normally wouldn't if you were a tight game. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yep, but it was another game of honestly running, passing with ease. Defense looked dominant. We look like the best team in the NFL, and there's honestly no reason for us to continue to dominate if we don't have injuries and everyone keeps going the way they are. We will literally. I don't. There's us and Chiefs and everyone else down here. There's
yeah,
a couple tiers, tier two team tier, and then it just goes down from there.
yeah.
Honestly, outside, I don't even consider Philadelphia. They're garbage.
I
They're gonna
mentioned,
lose.
yeah, I think I mentioned that today about the standings. In that conversation about how the standings this year are weird. Like a lot of them, there's just one clear dominant team, and then the rest of the division's
Yeah,
like and
Yeah,
then some of them they're just all bad kind of. So
yeah.
I don't even know who I can't think of an NFC team that's gonna be like the dominant one.
So I yeah, that's what we were. That's what the problem is in the NFC is all it's going to take is for a team to sneak in the playoffs and they might win it in
Yeah.
that I've seen. But in that's the thing about that being in a like a the conference that's not as good is sometimes you get that easy road and then you play the team that just had to go through like three gauntlets to get there, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they lose in the Super Bowl. That's how it kind of was with the Bengals
With I was
last
just
year.
gonna say, yeah, because they had to grind it out to get that
Yeah, they
get
had to
that
beat like
spot.
Titans, Chiefs, and who was the last team?
Kansas City.
Titans, KC, Titans, Chiefs. They played somebody else though because they had to come in the wild card from the wild card, I believe.
Wasn't that the
I,
Titans?
I don't know. I don't remember. They
Hmm.
played one more team, but either way, they that's a gauntlet of teams. Then you
Mhm.
go to play like you might have to play like freaking Giants in the playoffs. Come on, I would love to
Yeah.
play the Giants in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Oh,
but
was
we'll
it
see.
it wasn't the Ravens because we knocked them out. Yeah, I'll let it go. But regardless, though, I
Yeah,
think like you said, I think the key thing is like Josh made some mistakes. I mean, we always
yeah,
say how great he's doing, so we can also admit he made some mistakes in that game. And like you said, maybe a learning
yeah.
opportunity for him.
He was definitely not happy after the game.
But it was also like you said, it was kind of like a protected environment to make the mistakes because we still were going to come away with a
Yeah,
win regardless. And then
yeah,
I think the multi-dimensional part, like you're saying, it's finally everything's clicking. If we get Trey back, we got our defense even that much more better than it was,
yeah,
and we got depth in the run game now.
yeah.
And yeah,
It's
should help.
looking good. I mean, honestly, this is the best I felt about a team ever,
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
And that's just I can't. I just ever. I've never felt this great about a team
yeah,
at this point in the season, too.
yeah.
So it's good, but yeah, going on to the end. Next season or next season, next week. Uh, Buffalo Jets. I just can't wait to dominate them. I
Yeah.
literally cannot wait.
There's a lot of hype building with the Jets. I think that
It
since
is
they
in New
just
Jersey.
yeah, I think since they just got beat, finally it took him down a little bit. But I have been hearing too much about the Jets.
And then
Yeah,
once they got dominated last week by the Patriots, I was like,
yeah. I was like
"Good luck,
that
good
kind
luck,
that
Phil."
made me feel better about both of those teams.
After they destroyed Green Bay, I was like, "Wait a minute, are they a legit team?" And then I was like, "Maybe Green Bay is just really bad." And then it's true that Green Bay is just really bad because then
Yeah,
Jets get dominated by Patriots. It,
yeah.
it was a joke. They got 3 interceptions by freaking Zach Wilson. He is not the guy.
No,
He's not.
no. I think neither is Mac Jones on the other side either. I don't know if he's the guy either.
Yeah,
No,
at least he led them to the playoffs. Zach Wilson is not going to lead them to anything. To
no.
anything.
Maybe
Even if
to
he goes to the playoffs, I don't even know how they would make the playoffs.
maybe
Honestly, they're
maybe
not good.
leading and suffering sacks. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. His ball sacks on his forehead. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Um,
Um.
I think the yeah, so I think that's gonna be an easy one too. But I'm interested about the Patriots because they've been real on off this year, and they are
So
in
on
the
off.
end of our division. But didn't they dominate the Colts? Is that who it was? That one game?
No, they dominated Detroit 27-0,
Oh
and
yeah,
Detroit
yeah,
was the
yeah,
number one offense going into it.
yeah, yeah.
Which obviously, I think it was skewed by a couple big games against bad teams. But either way, it's just weird how all of a sudden you dominate a team, lose to who'd they lose to last time? They just lost the game before that to somebody shitty,
Who
Pittsburgh or something, or it was some weird game.
who the Patriots
But
did?
yeah, Patriots. They
Uh,
lost to somebody shitty, like bad the game before.
let's see if I can pull it up
Uh,
real
they,
quick. It was the Bears, 33 to
yeah,
14. Wow,
yeah. On
I
Monday
forgot.
night,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
got
that's right.
destroyed by the Bears, and you're like, "What? The Bears?" You're like, the Bears are bad. How the hell did they just destroy the Patriots? And then they come back and beat the Jets. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. It's a very odd team. But
Yeah,
that's a crystal clear 9-8, 8-9 team. You know what I mean?
yeah.
They're not anything special, not going to be anything
And then
special
the
in them
Bears go
with that
back to getting housed by
talent.
the Cowboys. And like
Yeah.
I always think it's interesting when you have that when you have like that combination of teams over a couple weeks when you like see who they beat and who beat them and you're like
Right.
kind of like the Jets, as like
Right.
everyone
Right.
was like, "Oh, the Jets, the Jets." I'm like, I'm not worried about the Jets still,
Right.
And now I'm really not. So
then after that, I was just confirmed. I was just like, okay, that like I was kind of like, huh, this might be an interesting match because like if they're kind of playing well, no. Now I'm like, it's easily as I'm gonna predict it, 38-13,
Yeah,
easy dub.
I'm calling 31-10. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
I don't know about their defense with us. I mean, they are kind of new, so I don't know if the defense will be a little better than usual. Maybe make a couple plays, so they might limit us from going as far up as we would. But I think at the same time, I think our defense is going to dominate that offense. Like they'll be lucky to get a touchdown and a field goal out of it. I think.
backs Jets 1-3 at home,
There you go. And
4-2 on the road.
I want to go back to the Patriots too. What my point about that was, I felt good about it was that they only beat the Jets by, what is that, 5?
Yeah.
So that goes to show you that neither of those teams are that great. So if they're
Jets
struggling with each other,
right now,
yeah,
about to be 5-4. That's what their record's gonna hover around all season. It's
yeah,
gonna be like game or two, maybe a couple games, and then it's gonna be back to like around even by finish. I guarantee it. They're a 8-9 win team at best. At
so
best. That's this year. Honestly, I don't see them getting any better unless they get a better quarterback.
do you think it's safe to say that we are going to get those 4 wins? 2 against the Jets and 2 against the Patriots, the division ones this season? Because we
Yeah,
originally,
I think even with like a weird game this year, we're prepared.
yeah, because I mean, I kind of feel like we both called one divisional loss, and we were surprised it ended up being Miami.
Yeah.
And that might be that. I don't think these two are gonna. I don't think so.
Coming out of the bye week, we played Green Bay, which was an easy win. We
Mm,
have New York, Minnesota, which Minnesota will be kind of tough, but it will be a win.
mhm.
Cleveland, Detroit, New England, New York, or Jets again, Miami, Chicago, Cincinnati, New England to finish up.
Yeah,
Honestly, the only way I feel like we're going to lose any of those games are maybe week 17 or 18 if we sit guys.
yeah,
Otherwise, I just don't see us. I could honestly see us with one loss. You
yeah.
know,
I could see the only loss being the Vikings, maybe, since they're on a roll.
but it's
Um,
home,
yeah, it is
home,
home. It is home. Yeah,
not a loss,
and neither one of us play each other, so there you
right?
go.
So honestly, we are looking solid. Our biggest worry, Zilla, was the Los Angeles through KC week 1 through 6.
Yeah,
We were the 6th hardest schedule. There was multiple Los Angeles championship, Tennessee playoffs, Miami not, but Baltimore playoffs,
mhm.
Pittsburgh not, or KC playoffs, Green Bay playoffs. We beat every single one of them.
Yep,
Playoffs last year 5-0. I know it's different season, but it doesn't matter. They're still a playoff team from the previous season. We're 5-0 against all of them.
yep.
We're having a great season.
That's great.
Honestly, I know everyone knows this, but it's just we're going to finish really well. And if everything stays on course with injuries and all that stuff, Super Bowl.
I'm gonna say two losses, Super Bowl.
Max.
Yeah,
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 max. And like it might be because we sit people in New England week 18
yeah.
because we are 16-1.
By that point, though, if New England still lasts, it's not gonna matter. The game won't matter at all. So
Yeah. And and I hope everyone that listens to this understands that I'm not even like joking around.
no,
This is a serious prediction. Like I was worried about the first like 8 weeks max with Green Bay before I knew Green Bay was bad. Now it's just like all the rest of the games, Detroit, Cleveland, Cleveland before they get freaking uh
Deshaun
what's
the
his
week
name back?
before.
Deshaun back
Yeah,
too. Then like just New York twice, New England twice, Miami at home, Chicago at Chicago, easy dubs. Christmas Eve, I'll be sitting at home watching an easy dub. You know, it'll be a
it
good
might be
time.
a bit uncomfortable leading into Christmas morning and seeing that game. Seeing how badly
Yeah.
they destroy the Bears, but
Oh, it's gonna be like 41-10.
yeah,
And I'm just gonna wake up on Christmas morning and be like, yes,
it's like one of those I might
another
turn in
dub.
before bed, but I'm not turning before bed that early that
I'm
night
gonna be
before
like peeking out one eye, still watching them like late in the fourth quarter.
all snuggled up. Yeah.
41-3, they happen to score a garbage time touchdown.
um,
Yep. Too
so
funny.
I agree with all that. I think so. I think we have covered
Yeah.
everything we wanted to
Yeah.
cover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back at it. We'll continue through for the rest of the season. Obviously, we took the bye week for our own bye week as well.
Mhm.
We'll even try to do like do around Christmas time. I'll just like transport my stuff home if I have to, or whatever I have to do to make it happen. So
Yeah.
be ready for regular episodes again until the end of the season, which is January 8th. So, and then obviously it's going to be even more intense after that. Honestly, expect us until February because when we're in the Super Bowl and me and Zilla are in Arizona, we'll be recording live from there for you
Yeah.
everybody. So
Just a short flight. Well, that's
yeah, yeah, no, we will too. We
yeah.
will be there, Zilla. So
Yeah.
once again, just want to say thank you to everybody that is listening and that does listen. We really appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram. Definitely follow our YouTube. That's where we release everything. Eventually, we might eventually go to Spotify and stuff down the road, but we need support from everybody.
Yeah.
But everything we are getting, we really do appreciate.
And if you like it, tell a friend. Or even if
Yes.
you don't like the Bills, but you like the podcast and it's a good time, tell people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We appreciate
And
it
if
though.
you're just a
Yeah.
putty old pal, just help us spread it. Spread the word for us. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So let's go Buffalo!
Buffalo!
Woo!
See you next time.
Peace ya.